Thanks for joining us for another session with UJV Africa, and today's an exciting one. We've got one of our favorite sort of colleagues, friends, advisors on the call today, Mr. Hao Tang. Uh, Hao Tang is definitely one of the travel industry's ultra luxury advisors, and we've had the pleasure of growing with him throughout the years at UJV Africa. And alongside his Besvisor team, we've done quite a few beautiful trips when it comes to Africa. So, hey, huh?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not
Sorry,
too bad.
multitasking here.
Yeah, no,
Good to be
absolutely not.
here and happy to hopefully provide some value to people who are interested in working on Safari and Kisawa. So, sorry, I'm probably closing out a bill at the same time. But yeah, stoked to be here.
Absolutely. Where are you at the moment, huh? Tell everyone where you are.
I'm at the Peninsula Istanbul and I'm trying to have dinner at the same time with my little guy and my wife. Sorry. So pardon me for the multitasking.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for joining us on that side of the world. And today is to kind of just like, really show everyone kind of where how UJV's grown over the years. We have many different hats when it comes to Africa, and we have the luxury hat, we have the moderate luxury, and we most definitely have the ultra luxury when it comes to working with you. And one thing that's really kind of ramped up post COVID, I guess, is this bush and beach combination, and we just find it's working so well now because what it actually does is it breaks up the harsh aspect of safari, right? When I speak to clients, for the most part, I pick their brain quite a bit because when you say you're going to Africa, the first thing that comes to mind is animals. When I say Africa to how, the first thing I guess that comes to mind is the black mamba and the honey badger. But we'll get one of those one day. But I firmly believe that safari can be a little harsh. So by doing that bush beach combo, it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. So 6 nights on, safari in South Africa, kind of pivoting over to Mozambique. What a combination! And the nicest thing about the bush and beach packages in Africa at the moment is you could go to East Africa and do a Singita combo with white sands in Zanzibar. You could go up to the Royal Portfolio in South Africa and the Thorny Bush Game Reserve, and then of course hop over to Kisawa, one of our favorites. Then again, more family focused trips, Belmont, Mount Nelson, or the one and only in Cape Town, and popping over to Mauritius. So there's so many different combos at the moment. And the nicest thing about it, and especially doing it, let's just use South Africa here, is the accessibility to getting there, guys. You could do a flight from the Kruger area that takes an hour, 25 minutes to Mozambique, and you start your beach experience right away. Or you could go to Johannesburg as your gateway and go over to the Seychelles, and now direct flights to Zanzibar too. So all these combinations have really kind of, opened up the doors sort of for guests going to these places. And I've had the luxury and joy of traveling with her to quite a few places in Africa, from gorilla tracking in Rwanda to safari in the Serengeti, and more recently we did sort of bush and beach combo with the Royal Portfolio and Kisawa. So, how I want to ask you, man, what do you feel, especially if you're going to Africa? Sort of for the first time, what sort of combo would you look at?
Yeah, I think for the first time, it was very, I would say for the first time, I was very content and happy with doing just Safari, because obviously that is the most exciting product, and you're really just trying to learn as much as you can, experience as much as you can. So I personally was very happy with just doing game drives for a week plus and then go on home. But I think for myself and many of my clients who've done the entry level Safari or have done it once or twice already, you would like to combine that with, to your point, some relaxation as well. And as you know, often on Safari, you don't get to relax. And I've even seen scenarios where I will book clients an extra night or two at each lodge just so they can enjoy the lodge and see the lodge, because many of my clients, like myself, love the hotel aspect of it. So when you're on game drive, sometimes you have this FOMO of you're not actually getting to enjoy Singita Boulder, seeing the lodge, seeing all the intricacies and details. So we book an extra night or two to enjoy it. But what actually happens is, when you're on safari, you just always feel like you have to go on the game drive. You just talk yourself always into going, right? It's the one game drive that you skip out on. You miss the honey badger and the black mamba, right? Fighting to the death. So even in the case of extending the stays there at the lodge, they don't get to relax. So I just started adding on beach retreats for them to kind of end on a relaxation and get home feeling like they went on a proper vacation and a holiday.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. And what do you do? What is your thought when it comes to the African islands? And again, using Mozambique as reference here. Like I know you're a big sort of Como Paraquí fan. How would you put that up against Kisawa? Completely different experiences, or would you say somewhat similar? How would you kind of put your 2 cents there?
I, I think, I think it's no secret to your point how much I love Parakeet. I would actually say that Parakeet is not the most luxe product when it comes to the hard product itself. It's really a place where you have to experience it, and there's this at home and comfort level that I have with the place I just love, and I go every single year. Whereas Kisawa really has the ultra luxe feel and texture of the hard product. Like when you walk into the rooms, you feel the Venetian plaster on the walls in the middle of Mozambique on an island, right? And all everything is done so tastefully. I think it's Kisawa is something you will find in Architectural Digest, right?
Mm.
So I think the sophistication of it and the taste of it is just extremely high. Now, where they do have similarities that I personally love is having residence or villa directly on the beach, having a butler that is dedicated to you. It's not shared across different villas and guests. So those are things I really value and look for in a beach escape, right? So for me, I would never go to a beach hotel or resort where I have to uh, take an elevator downstairs, go through a lobby or somewhere, some pathway to get to like a pool or whatever, or the beach. So Periki and Kisawa, your unit directly being on the beach, I think that's just phenomenal to have. And then Kisawa having only, I think, 9 units with 13 bedrooms. So that level of exclusivity and privacy is, I think, very difficult to find in many locations. But I think just the level of luxury it has compared to other places in Africa is certainly at the top of my list. And to your point earlier of how easy it is to reach, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so yeah, we managed to tick off the sort of Mozambique and Kisawa sort of off our list. What's our next steps? Where we're going next? We keep talking about Miavana. Is it something that still appeals to you? I think again, obviously logistically, it can be
That's
a little bit of a
difficult.
headache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kisawa, where even I was surprised by Kisawa was, I believe we left Waterside mid-morning,
Hmm.
and then you were able to reach Kisawa by like lunchtime or like 1 p.m. or something, right? So I
Yeah.
think that is very appealing. Whereas Miyavana it would just be too difficult, especially if you have a large group. I think it's just too much to work with. I think another option for me starting next year would be Seychelles because Free Gay is opening, right? I think North Island is just really gated, especially at that price point. I think all the other options in Seychelles are not quite ultra luxe, even the Cheval Blanc, because while the hard product looks amazing, the location itself is not great. So I think that would be a new destination for me. But again, Kasawa is is kind of a low hanging fruit.
Okay, yeah, we're excited for the opening of Free as well. It's another destination that sells really well for us here at
But that's
UJV.
going to be super expensive. I mean, that will make
Yeah.
Kisawa even look like a bargain.
Oh, for yeah, price point is going to be aggressive. Yeah, going to be for certain clientele, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
I can't say what it is,
Mm.
but because I'm told not to talk about it, but I think it's going to be another tier. But I think the product will justify it, but it'll be at a different tier altogether.
Yeah, and we had this discussion a few weeks back, me and you. going back to Mozambique, of course, because that's kind of a bit of a focus today, that Oman is opening, and you had that talk again with the powers that be at Oman. And what's your thoughts on that? I see certain excitement for it opening, but you saw some concerns, i.e., the size of the property itself. How do you feel about that opening? You think we're going to see a little uptake there from Besvisor or what?
I don't know. I think it's too early to tell. I certainly hope they will do well, obviously.
Mm,
But to your point, yeah, I think the room count is a little high for
mm,
for that area. Typically, like I said, like Kisawa only. I mean, the Singida lodges, everything usually are somewhere what in the 10 to 15 room ish range,
mm.
right?
Yeah,
So
about, yeah.
having
Mm,
30 plus rooms or something like that is it's a bit aggressive, and I think time will tell. But that's the only factor that's a bit concerning to me, or I
okay.
guess maybe the biggest concern.
Yeah, I think again, it will work for certain clientele. I guess it's like the Four Seasons in the Serengeti. Certain people want to kind of go to these properties because they die hard. So, a good combo between a Cheetah Plains in Picture or Singita with Amman and or Kasawa, could work extremely well. So yeah, we feel the African islands, the reason why we're seeing kind of a lot of popularity as well is because they are year-round destinations. Obviously, you want to avoid certain sort of heavy rain months, but the for the most part, they're more shorter range, which is always a good thing. And the same thing occurs on safari, so it shouldn't deter anyone away from that. But here's one that I want to kind of ask you: Have you managed to sort of deep dive Messia's tented camp with Royal One? Remember, we were one of the first to see the kind of building and the construction, the new pink lady of Thorny Bush, if we can call it that. But it looks interesting. I don't know if you've had time to really deep dive into the product, but one of our own Kevin Parash, was just more recently there on a fam trip, and he was kind of blown away by the decor and the kind of style. So,
Nice.
yeah, it's. I think we didn't actually get to see the decor, but it's really getting rave reviews. So it could be something that we could kind of maybe look at in the future as well, right?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, we got to see the pink roof or the tent. I think
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
about it. We got to see the inside, but it was unfurnished. But
Mm,
I think Liz Biden stuff, to me, it's always it's. I think I've talked to you about this before. It's the reverse of most hotels. Most
mm,
hotels, the marketing materials or in photos, it looks better than in real life. Her stuff, for me at least, it looks better in real life than in photos. Like when I look at their stuff on the website or whatever, it's not super attractive to me. But
mm,
I'm someone who likes minimalism.
mm.
But when I see in person, I'm always like, oh, I get it. I kind of, I can, I dig
It,
this.
it's kind of like waterside, right? If we have to like
Yeah,
go
exactly.
into the point when we got there, we were like, what's this?
It
This
shows
is
better.
kind of odd. But
Yeah,
I think the product works extremely well, and it's definitely one of our sort of biggest sellers. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Masaya's kind of picks up over the next few weeks, months, and years. Um,
sure. Yeah.
all right, so be to let you soon go to dinner. If you had to give me the perfect sort of bush and beach combo, 10 nights, what are we doing?
Are we talking about entry level? Like first time
No,
travelers or
give me what you would do. Give me what you'd do.
I mean, I do this multiple times, like even the recent months with you guys, is that if I have a new safari travelers, I typically do South Africa. Even this week, I think Alyssa and I we did Singida Boulders, and we did 4 nights there, and then we're doing 3 nights at Singida Lubumbo, only because of inventory issue. I personally prefer Swinny, so
Mhm.
those two as a combo. Typically, you can get a 6 night free, so which is great. So we do those, and then fly directly from there to Johannesburg, and then quickly to Kisawa. So that's what we're doing. But I also, oh, by the way, I should, sorry, revert back to this just because I'm remembering this now. I used to think Kisawa would be an add on to Safari. I've booked multiple Kisawa stays where it's just the beach escape on its own.
Mhm.
So bypassing Safari altogether, right? Because when I think about it, the ease of getting to Kisawa is no different than going to Maldives, right?
Hmm.
So again, pre-war when the Middle East was still easy to fly through, you would many clients would go through Middle East to get to the Maldives, and of course you have to take a seaplane. That's no different than going to Dubai or Qatar and then fly down to Johannesburg and then take another flight to Vanuatu, which is only an hour and a half away, right? And then the 15-minute helicopter ride. So I started selling Kisawa as a trip on its own. And even clients from Asia who are, let's say, in Hong Kong, Hong Kong has a nonstop to Johannesburg. So now you can fly directly to Johannesburg nonstop, then a quick hour flight to Vanuatu, and then 15-minute helicopter to Kisawa. So that's something I wanted to bring up.
I think you're 100% right. I think, nowadays if you can break up the trip somewhat and get into Johannesburg and get that
Yeah,
short hop over into Mozambique and of course when the Middle East opens up again, you can do the same to Seychelles. Why not? 10 nights there,
yeah,
festive
yeah,
season, special occasion. When we
yeah,
left Kisawa, I always remember us saying, geez, we could have spent another 5 nights easy kind of
yeah.
on the island. There was so much to do. And the nice thing again on that island on Bazaruto, you can kind of drive the Moki around the whole sort of place. So yeah, I agree with that. I
The
think
the only sorry, that was very ADD. So I would say that the Safari trip I mentioned, that would be a very like entry, just starter pack, I should say, not entry, but starter pack. And then of course I still prefer going up to East Africa for more advanced trips. And then of course we're talking about going to Myanmar later this year and then doing something else different. And then at some point I want to do the Delta in Botswana. So that's all interesting. The other thing I wanted to mention about Cassava was it's obviously very a location that's very remote. There's not much to do. Once you're on the island, you're on the island. And I was very concerned about being family friendly. So I did have one family go over festive, but their children are like 10 and 9, and the
mhm.
family overall had a great time. I think they did comment that there weren't enough things to do, but the children ended up playing soccer with the staff, and then they found things to entertain them, and overall the family came away extremely happy. But that was something I was a bit nervous about. So I
Mm,
think you
yeah.
still want to be, as much as I, say Kisawa is a bit of a no-brainer, I think it's still very specific to certain type of people, right? People who like to relax and kind of chill out on the beach and be private and stargaze, and not people who needs to go out to a bar each night or a restaurant somewhere, right? And stay out late and doing various socializing activities.
Okay, that's good info. I absolutely agree with that too. Yeah. How? We're not going to keep you for too much longer. We'll see if anyone has any questions before I run into kind of the earn not bought scenario with UJV. So, guys, opening up the floor. Does anyone have a question for How? Want to ask him something before he hops out? No.
Well, sweet.
I think you're good to go to dinner, How. And
All
I
right.
think I just want to thank you again. And I'll definitely see you in Africa soon, yeah?
Yes, yes. Lisa, good to see you. Becca's doing great. I hope you are well if you're in South Carolina. And Anthony, my pleasure. Hope everyone have a great rest of your day and all the best. Cheers. Bye bye.
Cheers, Hal. Thanks a lot. Guys, just to sort of wrap up before I let you all go, thanks so much for attending again. We just wanted to quickly remind all of you about our Earn Not Bought. So for most of you, you probably would have seen the social post going out. We're actually hosting the first one next week. Myself and Olivia, who heads up marketing, and you have the opportunity, guys, to go away for 14 nights, and that's on UJV. If you have a look below there, you can see we've got St. Bart's for next year, the Peninsula in Paris, and then finishing off at Royal Molowan and La Residence in Franschhoek. So how do you earn it? Obviously, calendar year from Jan through December. Top sales wins. We'll take 4 winners with us. Overall plus leaders in Africa, Europe, and tropics. Something's covering that. Let me move. Yeah, so again, the things to note are the airfares are not included. Everything else is. So everything internally we'll look after. It's a certain airfare. And of course, if you want to go in sort of business class seats, that'll be to your own account. But we're extremely excited to be hosting the first one next week it starts. So yeah, be sure to kind of check us on the social posts and follow us throughout the journey. But to all of you that attended today, thanks so much. I don't know if anyone has questions for me. So yeah, we could wait on for another minute or so, but thanks again, everyone. It's lovely to see some names on here that are already supporting UJV Africa. And if you haven't, try us. You'll be pleasantly surprised and it'll be an amazing experience.